Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for being here today. I am Coach Les, and I am here with SUJATA, who is the author of a book, Against All Odds. And this is our podcast. And I'm going to just share a little bit about the book from the back of the book so you can get a sense of what we're up to in this room. The book, Against All Odds. No retakes, no manuals, real life lessons. A legal life manual. Do you live in the jungle with animals or live in civilized society? If in the latter, this book is for you. Are you a victim or a survivor? Survive and protect yourself from gender discrimination, culture biases, belittling within home, educational to professional workplace, mental, verbal, physical, emotional exploitation, rape, and all kinds of sexual abuse. Trapped or stifled in unhappy marriage, parent-child discord, years of working with bad bosses, compromising on a daily basis. Are you a prisoner of the moment? Do you want to run away, feel suicidal? Politics of the universe, society, don't let it shackle you. When you are pushed to the wall, push back. When you have nothing to lose, then give yourself that one chance and take a courageous step. Don't give up. It's hard, very hard, but courage and self-belief will open doors. Gather inspiration from my journey and trust me, you can do it. All of us can be leaders. All we have to do is nudge that dormant factor. Giving in easy. Tenacity and resilience are words to describe that one moment when you decide to take action, even if it is swimming against the tide or against all odds. No matter what the problem, I am your partner to overcome the challenge and turn it into a stepping stone to progress. Leaders walk the talk and should be accessible to make a difference in people's lives. Money cannot do that. Care can. Do you care for yourself or others? I care for others. SUJATA has accumulated a wealth of experiences during her life, leading to insights and knowledge that cannot be coached or taught in a class. She has been a mother, a wife, a journalist, a consultant, an activist, a leader, and businesswoman domestically and internationally. In sharing her story, SUJATA strives to provide readers of all backgrounds in any part of the world with real-life examples on how to deal with the unpredictable nature of everyday life. And I, Coach Les, and SUJATA came up with the idea of doing this podcast and taking on some of the impossible conversations that she spoke about in her book and bringing them to light, sharing about them, expounding on them, and inviting people to come up on stage to share in text messaging online, and to also to come up on stage here in Clubhouse. So we thank you for being here. Hello, Rose. Welcome to the stage.
Good. Oh, I say good evening, but I'm guessing it's morning there.
It's good morning to SUJATA.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm from the UK, as you probably can tell by the accent. I've just fallen across your room before bed and just wanted to hop on to say that, you know, everyone can beat the odds. We've all got aces that we don't even realise we carry. I thought I had all the bad cards, and it wasn't until I did the work on myself and started helping others that I realised, excuse me, that I carried all the aces, and so does everybody else. We are all we're meant to be, and every choice we make in life can take us that one step further if we choose to. And when I say against all odds, I think I went against every odd there was, and I kept rising and rising. I was called a weeble wobble. I'd fall down, but I'd get back up, and I'd fall down, and I'd get back up. And finally, I got back up, and I'm where I always wanted to be. So there's hope in that darkness. There is light in that darkness. There's a way forward when you don't see the path. There's answers when everything seems impossible. You just have to have the faith and just keep moving. And most of the time choose wisely.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here and welcome to the discussion. And we look forward, hopefully, at keeping you just enough asleep so that you hang in there with us. We're here for an hour. And in that hour, we hope to hit a few different topics today and share and hear what people have to share. Hi, Sulina. Hi, Lois.
Hi, you guys.
And welcome to be introduced to Rose. Rose is in England, so she's in the in-between time zone, as I put it.
Hi, Rose. How are you?
I'm good, thank Lois. I'm snowed in Snowdonia. I'm snowed in. I know. We had beautiful sunshine only yesterday, but I'm wondering if I'm actually going to get home tomorrow. But the mountains look beautiful, is all I can say.
Well, there you go. What more can you ask for? Is God's splendor on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, I was fretting earlier, thinking, I'm going to be snowed in at work. I've been at this crisis centre for 8 days, but you know what? I just looked around me and thought, what could be more beautiful than all these hills and mountains covered in snow? It's not something I've seen before, so what will be, will be.
Well, there you go. Now you have your interest up to go visit Europe and see and go and play in the snow on the top of those mountains.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can get to the top of the mountains from where we are, but I'm going down the mountains. I'm heading home.
Whereabouts are you then?
So, as you know, I could never pronounce the name if I tried, but if I told you, we looked down a good few hundred miles whilst driving. It's going to be quite a trek tomorrow.
So are you near Snowdon?
Pardon?
Are you in the UK right now?
So no, I'm in Wales. So I live in England, but I'm in Snowdonia.
Okay. All right. Well, I grew up in the Midlands and moved to France for 3 years, where I was at the foot of the mountains.
Your accent is now you're in the States. Excuse me, you're in the States now.
I am. I live in the Midwest, where everything's fine, and you betcha.
Enjoy.
It's an interesting world in this place. So you probably have heard of George Floyd.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm 30 minutes away from that spot on the ground.
Oh, wow. Okay. Bless you. And everybody. I don't know what to say to that. Coach, sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. So it's funny. Nobody knew where Minneapolis was until George Floyd came along. And Prince. You like Prince music? Purple Rain?
Yes.
Okay. I'm 20 minutes from his house where he was born. So, well, welcome. Hi, Sujata. How are you? You look beautiful. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I love the UK.
Well, that makes one of us.
Yes. I think it does make one.
I think here's the thing, Rose. Let me see if you would agree with this. So, Sujata, if I could have an American paying job and live in the UK at the same rate of elevation, blue collar, white collar wise that I am here in the UK, I might enjoy the UK. How's that sound, Rose?
No, I don't like. I'm completely for opposite reasons. I need sun on my shoulders. I'm moving abroad. Like I've got my whole like next 10 years planned, and by the end of 10 years, I want sun on my shoulders. And I lived in London for 20 years, and now I'm in a lovely place further up north with beaches and greenery, and I'm out of the rat race, but I actually want to be out of the UK completely. I'm done. I'm spent.
There you go, Sujata.
I still will say that I love UK because I love the Cotswold. If any have been there, and if I could go and live there, that would be a dream come true.
My sister lives in the middle of the Cotswolds.
Where are you from, Sujata?
I was born in the wrong country, originally from India, living in Singapore, and trying to find a place.
No, she did not. No, let's talk.
And I'm trying to find a place in this planet where I can go and live peacefully. I have still to find that place. Of course, Lois says, and she says with great conviction that I shall be sometime, someplace in Philadelphia. I don't know. Maybe.
Lois, what's Philadelphia known for?
Philadelphia cream cheese. That's what I know.
which you can't even eat.
Well, I can't eat, but I used to make lovely cheesecakes with that.
Ah, yes. Well, excellent. Well, thank you all for being here. And the topics of tonight, we want to talk about, and how perfect is this? We would like to have conversation today about moods and outcome behavior, accountability, and responsibility. I love it. And the mic dropped. Push. And 3 people left. Oh, that's a classic.
That's when conversation gets real and difficult.
I can't believe it. 3 people left at the same time, right as I went back to my screen.
I can't see the screen. Who left?
Some people in the audience. Oh, my goodness. My goodness gracious. And James is coming down. Hey, James. Come on up, James. I have to tell you the title and see if you want to stick around. How are you, James?
I'm doing okay. I'm fixing to go out and play golf in this 35 mile an hour wind. So I was really just coming in to listen. But if you want me to say something real quick, I can.
Well,
install odds.
Well, no, this is perfect, James. No, I just read what we were going to talk about, some topics that we wanted to talk about today, and 4 people in the audience just vanished all at the same time.
You're talking about the Will Smith slap, right?
No, I'm not. Nope. I'm sorry. They have taken over the news and garnered more attention for the Oscars than any single bit of advertising could have given to the Oscars in 10 years. So that's about as much as I would like to give them, if that's okay with everybody. And I would love to say, Petalyn Cogswell, great to see you. Great to meet you. Thank you so much for coming up on the stage.
Welcome. Great to see you too.
Oh, now where's that accent from?
Oh, no, I'm Oklahoma.
Ah, Oklahoma, where the winds go from. I can't remember the song, but it's a great musical.
I also have a podcast
Oh, and what's your podcast?
The Kingdom Advancement Podcast. It's mainly preaching.
The Kingdom Advancement Podcast. Okay, well, you will have to take a moment to share with us once we get rolling here. Share with us that link, and do you know how to put links into the
chat? Yeah.
Perfect. You send me a back channel with the link, and we'll give you some time at the top of the stage, and you can tell us a little bit about it.
Okay.
Well, welcome, and thank you so much for coming. We are here today, and out of the 5 people that were down in the audience, Kingdom decided to hang out with us. So, Petalyn, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're James, I was saying we're going to talk about moods, outcome behavior, accountability, and responsibility with a question mark. Is he still here? He's still here. So it's Sujata, why don't you just give us a quick 30-second, why did you choose those wonderful topics? What precipitated the choice of those words?
Have you heard of that phrase, did you get out of the bed, wrong side of the bed?
Oh, many times. I can't
And
get out of the wrong side of the bed, but
and many a times, people will act erratically, funnily, grumpily, and they will associate it by saying, brushing it off by saying that, you know, I was not in a good mood, or they will say, I'm moody or not in the best of spirits, something like that they will say. And they will try to get away with their behavior, which will affect somebody else, which I always say. So, how you behave does in some way affect, even if it's minuscule, it might affect another person. It has the potential to affect another person. And you can't just shrug it off and say, wrong side of the bed, or it's a mood, or mood swings and stuff like that, and get away from being accountable and responsible for what you say and do. That's why I chose that topic, if it makes sense.
100%. And I will tell you this, I think that we have a choice the first breath we take on how we come out of sleep and where we go from the moment we take our first step. And I believe that we currently live in a world today where the accountability for that well-being and the responsibility for that well-being is often placed on other people. It's placed on newspapers, TV, social media. Most people wake up and the first thing they do is grab their phone and look and see, ooh, who messaged me last night? And what did they say? And did they show me some love? Or did they say nasty things when I left? And I think too often we are at the effect of that. And it's amazing to think. So I know James owns a roofing company. And too many times I think employees in what I call the labor force of the United States at this time have, since the pandemic, have been given the liberty to say, I'm not feeling well today, I'm going to stay home. And because the workforce is so messed up, at least here in the United States, and is so short of people, employees today get away with murder, not figuratively speaking. And the responsibility of waking up, going to a job, delivering the best we can while we're there, and then going home has shifted. And I think in honor of this conversation, I'm super excited to hear, because we have three countries and 5 different locations around the US, to hear answers that are filtered from our surroundings. So I think, Sujata, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about that, and to talk about, I think, with a little bit of specificity, the workforce in general, based on those words and that arena that you were pointing to. What do you think?
Go ahead.
So who would like to jump into the conversation first? I'm going to open up the mic. Otherwise, I can go PTR order as well.
Hi, Coach. I'm going to get off as it's late, and I'm actually at a crisis centre working, and we have to travel first thing. So, and with the snow, I'm a bit concerned. But I would say that feelings, we should be in control of them. We should be very much aware of them. And yeah, if you're starting in the morning, getting out of bed on the wrong side, then I kind of think you know which way your day's going to go unless you're going to turn it around. So it all comes back to mindset. And for me, the first thing I do when I open my eyes in the morning is I say thank you. And I'm grateful, and I do my grateful journal. I don't go near my phone. I meditate before, an hour before I'm even thinking about even moving from the bed. I've done my meditation, which sets me up for a lovely move for the day. And I think if you're getting wound up by someone, you've also got to look inside, because usually, it's someone's affecting you. If someone can affect you and you're reacting to them, then again, that's, to me, I look at myself rather than look at that person, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
It's not something I would, if I get irritated by someone, then I have to have a word with myself. I don't get irritated with them. If I'm feeling a bit off and I need to rebalance, then I'd go meditate, go for a walk, go breathe in and out several times, and just, you need to really know yourself, and you can change that. Getting a bed on the wrong side very quickly, or you can just keep living in the negativity. And do you feel that a lot of people do like to stay in that state? Maybe they don't know a different way. I don't know. Maybe they just, I just don't know. I don't understand the whole. Obviously, people have feelings. Obviously, people get hurt. People are down. People have bad things happen. We get, life isn't fair sometimes. We all know that. But there's a point where we have to take complete responsibility for ourselves and our actions and our feelings. And I think that starts with accepting who we are, loving ourselves. And when we love ourselves fully, we can be loved fully and live fully. And then on that note, I need to say goodnight, because I'm being really naughty listening in here, but I will listen to the replay, and I'm really glad I found you guys. And I'll be back.
Well, Rose, thank you so much. I am looking forward to getting to know you. I have the experience that I have met today a very interesting lady with a very interesting journey. And I can't wait to spend more time with you when it's appropriate. And thank you for sharing your time and some of your wisdom with us, and drive safely tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach. So, love and light to all. Take care. Enjoy.
Good night. All right. Selena, did you want to jump in next?
I am going to pass, Coach Liz.
Okie doke.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see James is on the phone. And Padeline, would you like to jump in?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. We can.
Oh, cool. I accidentally dismissed my app while ago, so I was making sure I was still on. So, but yeah, you want to know a little bit about my podcast, or?
Yeah. Do you want to? Well, first off, do you want to go ahead and just tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the topic first?
Oh yeah. Okay. So at my school, when I graduated, they said I couldn't retain anything, and so about and so I couldn't go to college or whatever. But see, today I have been studying. I studied, and me and Grandpa, my pastor, we went to the Bob Larson International School of Exorcism and the Advanced Academy of Deliverance. So we are on our way to ministering together, and beyond anything that my teachers could even think. And I got a blog too and a YouTube channel. So I mean, whole 9 yards. I think you just gotta, on that. I like that against all odds. I think you just don't listen to what, don't listen too much to the praise because you might get a big head. But make sure you don't give up on yourself, because you can do anything that you set your mind to.
Wonderful. I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
James, are you able to chat? I think he might still be on the phone. Padeline, do you want to send me a back channel message with that information?
Oh yeah, I thought I already did.
Nope, you didn't. Sorry.
Oh, okay, it's okay. This is actually my first time doing a back channel, but
and then I just followed you as well.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So one of the things that I think that, well, Sujata, what do you think about what I said?
I always tend to agree with you.
Well, I'm sorry, Coach. I was on the phone. I mean, you asked me, on a golf course. I have a brand new golf cart. It's been a piece of it. I have had more troubles with this. I just called the guy and said, come get it. I'm so tired of spending that much money on a golf cart. I love my old one. What was the question again?
It was a little bit about Sujata said if we get out of the bed on the wrong side and we have a horrible day because we let ourselves have a horrible day. And I kind of extrapolated it into the workplace and said, today more than ever, people have this ability to suddenly go and say to themselves, no matter what the workforce, especially the labor force, to say, oh, I don't feel well today, and they don't go to work. And I don't think people today understand the impact of that it's going to have a ripple effect into the future. And some of those things are when we get a new roof, or we get an electrician at our house, or we get a plumber at our house, or we get some of these labor-oriented trades the impact is there isn't enough workforce to get all the work that's out there done. So what happens then? Prices go up, and a time between getting the job done or finding somebody to do the work and then getting the job done is extended. And I think it really is an epidemic that we're going to have to deal with after this pandemic. And so I was just curious on your thoughts, because I know you own a roofing business, and from the people that I speak to every week in the staffing company that are my clients, they are struggling to find employees that will show up consistently to work. So I was just,
I think it's just a domino effect from bad leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just keep printing off trillions of dollars and paying people to stay home, and then they get spoiled and they want to stay home. And why are most people on welfare, third generation welfare? Well, because why would they want to go to work when they can make more staying home and suck off the government or suck off everyone that wants to go to work? So people start getting that mentality of they get entitlement of thinking that people owe them something instead of that they need to go out and produce to get something. And so that mind shift starts happening. I mean, not to the masses, but to so much of people that it affects the whole workflow. It really does. I mean, it's just a chain effect of bad government right now for the past. Wait, how long has Biden been in office?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Don't get me wrong. I dislike Donald Trump. As a businessman, I think he's a genius. But as far as personality and him portraying to be a Christian and the things that he does and says, I think he's a disgrace.
Oh,
but as far
100%.
But as far as a businessman, we need a businessman in the office. We don't need someone who says what everybody else wants to hear. But if they took his Twitter account away, I think he'd have been the president again.
Oh, I 100% agree. And you know what? Why he didn't find another name to go onto Twitter and say whatever he wanted to say, I don't know. To do what he did and say what he said, that would be like me saying, here, I'm going to go to poop in the toilet every day and make a chocolate cake out of it and put it in the best bakery in the United States, and then be surprised when people say it smells.
I was okay with a lot of it until he hit something home that I knew a lot about. So I'm a huge NASCAR fan. And when he tweeted out that Bubba Wallace should apologize to the public for what he did, you know what? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I mean,
in NASCAR, when the crew got to the, he's the only African American driver, and when the crew got there, there was a noose hanging from the garage door, and so they looked at all the other garages in every NASCAR track, and there was nothing like this. If you saw the picture, it was a noose. And then the public come back and tried to say, "Oh, it was you're trying to make media hype. It was just something you're supposed to pull the garage door down with." But you know what? Bubba Wallace never even saw it. He didn't even saw it. He didn't have anything to do with it. And also, President Trump said he should apologize for his actions, and that's why NASCAR is at an all-time low and no one's watching it. Well, that's completely wrong. NASCAR numbers are through the roof compared to what they've ever been in the last 20 years. So so he's wrong on both accounts. So to put something out there, and you're a president, and you're supposed to be our leader, and you're talking about stuff like that, and this is related to the subject.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Just couldn't imagine being a teenager right now thinking, "Is this the best we got? Really?
Yeah.
These two guys? I mean, I'd be scared. I wouldn't want to." So anyway, that's my thoughts.
No, I love that, because I think that you're exactly correct. I mean, I consider myself an independent. I didn't like either of our choices. Um, I believe that our political system needs a an enema, and I trust that at some point something will happen to shift it. Until then, we're faced with this situation, and I think too often, I think some parts of our welfare system are very well deserved. I think there are places where the welfare system works magically well to support the the misfortunate, and I think that the ability to abuse the system is too great because there are not enough constraints. There are not enough people that are shutting the door to some of the things that are available. And I love this, talking about this from the aspect of, if everybody I know, from the trades to the executive offices to the kitchen dishwashers and the restaurant cleaners, all feel similarly about our system. And yet the people that are working hard don't have time to go get into the political arena. They're too busy working within, and changing their own destiny by working hard and getting themselves up out of the pits. And when it comes to the career politicians, the people that don't have real life experience, and they're stepping up on stage saying what they're saying, is to me like somebody coming out of, well, I was successful in my one business and now I'm going to coach people. And I say, so what training for coaching do you have? I ran a business. I'm like, okay, that's not training for coaching. Well, if I know how to do it, I can get other people to do it. So, I mean, that's kind of my little shtick on it, my little frustration. And I hand the mic over to Sujata.
Wow. That was quite reflective and contemplative shares that you all had. And it all boils down to the choices
So
that
I
we
think
make.
that a horrible situation happened with COVID that kind of started this snowball rolling, and which luckily we had the resources to pay America to stay home for a while. I mean, and there's there's things there's emergency plans intact for things like this that happen. There's smart people out there that have all this figured out, but our continuance to make bad decisions, every person that lives under a bridge didn't wake up one day and just live under a bridge. They made a series of bad decisions. They burnt their bridges. They just, through choices and maybe mental problems and stuff too, but they didn't just wake up one day and they're there. Well, I think that's kind of where America's headed. We're making a series of bad decisions that are putting us in a predicament that's going to be pretty hard to get out of. And I see it getting worse and worse and worse. But it's all predicted anyway, so I'm not too worried about it.
Go ahead, Sujata.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to whatever you believe in, but it boils down to your choices. The decisions that you make are the choices that you make. So you decide what are the choices, what is your integrity, and what is your conviction. and you operate from that, and the majority is not always in the right, is what I would like to say. Some of us do things differently. uh, and we deal with perspectives rather than results always.
Can you give an example?
Example, quite a few examples. So if you're in your workplace and you have been for years working in a company, and it may be for a long tenure, and you have bad bosses and you work very, very hard, but you know that you're not going to get your due recognition. So do you keep compromising and working in that company, or do you decide that even though it may be hard in a short term basis, that you look for something new where you would be, or where your talents would be appreciated and valued, or you start something of your own? Entrepreneurs are born sometimes out of that kind of perspective.
What do you think about the current government situation with support, though? And I know James left, but that's one of the topics that he was discussing.
You're asking me
Yes,
that too? About which government? Your government?
any, because I think they're all, uh, I mean, I don't know if in India they gave people money to stay at home.
No, they don't give people money at all. They only give money to people when they are fighting elections to come and vote for them. Yeah, we have some subsidized schemes for food and all, but they don't give money to people to sit at home. No way. We as taxpayers don't even get our returns from paying the taxes. So if we pay road tax, for example, we at least expect that we would get good roads.
Yeah.
That's not the case. We have potholes, we have roads which are really bad, and it makes traveling so much more harder and difficult. You could literally, if you were going to the hospital or something, you would become even more ill on the journey.
Selena, are you there? Hi, Selena, are you there? All right. How about paddling? Okay, we have a quiet stage. All right. So one of the things, did you see my message? Oh, yeah, give you a moment. Okay. So this is, I think, one of the most interesting topics, and also one of the most controversial, is what do we do and how do we do it moving forward? And I think inside of looking at the choices we make as a country going forward in the government, I think it's going to take a tremendous amount of pull in this country, at least in the US, to pull us out of this opportunity that's kind of crashed into itself with all of the help that has been given to the workforce, because the workforce wasn't able to go to work.
Nations are not built by governments, nations are built by people. And we, the people, have to hold our governments to be accountable and responsible, which I think most people across the globe don't do. You can see the chat message.
Hello, David. Welcome. Come on up on stage, David. Come and hang with us. We have a topic that's emptied the room twice now. How are you today, David?
I'm good. I'm just in, I know I'm in a red zone and I thought I'm walking right now, but I'll be in a quieter, better reception here in like 2 minutes.
Oh, no problem. You sound great from our end. So to kind of give a quick update on what we're chatting about, we're talking currently about the workforce and the mood, accountability, and responsibility of people when they get out of bed in the morning to come and work, to go to work. And what does that look like? Excuse me. And we were just running into the issue that our government is not doing a good job of holding people accountable for going to work and making and earning a living. In fact, they're making it here in the United States, making it that much easier to stay at home and get unemployment than actually go out and get work. And it's, you know, for a long time, it was due to the pandemic and all of the restrictions. Now that that is gone, that's the question. Now that that is gone, how are we going to create it? How are we going to recover it? And what does it look like? That communicated effectively, Sujata?
Yes, perfectly.
So, David, what are your thoughts about that lovely arena?
Okay, I heard most of that. I just knew I was walking through a dead zone and I got out of it. That hits me with part of what I'm working on right now. There's jobs available, and I'm a can behaviorist that I don't want to promote myself right now, but I'm a behaviorist that does grooming, and pretty much every groomer in the country now is needing help. We're overbooked, everything because of COVID. All of these puppies that came out there, or people that don't know, there's a lot more dogs, everything. Essentially, right now, if anybody in this country needed a job with no experience, I can get them a job right away that is more than minimum wage. So it hits me deep when advantage of the system or just being lazy, because it's not just the nation or the person, it's affecting other people, and in my case, all the dogs out there that I'm trying to help. So yeah, I just got in here and I'll listen for a bit, but I'm definitely going to type on a little bit more. I won't clear out because of the topic. So if the room clears, way things go. But yeah, that's a great topic, and definitely I want to think about it for a minute, because another thing I've learned from the past before is always be quick to listen and slow to speak. So I want to sit with this for another minute and come back in.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. And Sylvester, come on up if you'd like to join in. It's a small group. And Selena, are you available to speak yet? All right, she might still be in that listening mode. I think there's going to be a reset, and it's probably going to take 5 5 more years for it to reset. I think the reset is going to come when people realize that they have to pay back. They still have to pay taxes. They still have to pay to live. They still have to pay for groceries. And groceries are getting more expensive instead of less expensive. I think people are going to start to see that there is an end to how many video games they can play. And that whole lifestyle. And they're going to come into this space of, okay, so what am I going to do now? And they're going to have this, what I would call emotional crisis of, I really want to do something with my life. I want to make a difference while I'm here. And I think as people spend all this time on their own, or should I say all this time sitting at home, they're going to start having these thoughts about how can I make a difference in the world? And that's what that's my goal, is to inspire people to get off the couch, inspire people to stop eating bonbons while they're on the couch, and get a leg up and do something to stretch their awareness, their accountability, and their responsibility for life.
It's a very hard task because people have to care to do things for others. It's a very selfish world out there. So most people care about themselves and not about others. That's a reality. So to inculcate in them a feeling that you would like to make a difference in the world by doing something for others is hard to achieve.
Yep. I think it's a worthy goal, though.
Yeah, we have to try.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and I think that time is approaching when there's going to be an explosion of people going, how am I going to pay this back and not lose my house?
Let me give one good example of care since we are talking about it. So we are sitting in practically an empty room. Am I right?
5 people on stage, including you and I.
Exactly. So here is what I want to say, because people can listen and there are replays, so at least they can come back and listen. Look at amazing Coach Les. He's not paid to do this. He does it every time, consistently. Doesn't matter 5 people, or if sometimes we might land up in one of these sessions where only the 2 of us are there. But we still do it. Or at least here I want to talk about you. You do it every week, undeterred by the numbers. And you're not paid to do this. You take out time to do this, for which I am so, so grateful. And why can't people just follow you as a role model? You're a living testimonial example, because I believe in examples. I believe in examples which are real and tangible, flesh and blood. So if you can do it, so can others. What stops them is just a lack of will and care. In my book, I think in the takeaways, there is a quote by Mandy Hale or somebody where it is there. To make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, or perfect. You just have to care enough and be there. Mandy Hale. Right?
Well, and that's the same thing with Zig Ziglar has that quote that you've heard me say 100 times. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. People are short-sighted and don't see that, though. And that's a tough one.
Yeah. And sometimes you may give and not get in return. So you have to be prepared for that. It all boils down to that you still do it for doing the right thing. That's a perspective I've always followed. Doing the right thing and not depend on the results. Because then, if we depended on the results, we might land up with nothing.
I think, though, there's something to be said by is our generation, and I'm in my late 50s, are we demonstrating and have we demonstrated to our children the correct work ethic? Or have we tried to overprotect our children to the point where they don't have to work like we did?
Well, in some countries and cultures, I do see such a trend because it's a combination of the government and of the families who don't uh, inculcate in their children that, they should not be spoiled and they should actually, this word called hardworking and, achieve things on your own. Those are lacking because of how it has shaped up. And to a large extent, as I say, that we at the end of the day are responsible. So what we teach our children is something that we teach. Nobody can tell us what we have to teach our children.
So then, once again, the question becomes, how do we break that path? How do we break that curse, so to speak?
So the current generation, present generation, they have to be advised that, you this is how you raise your children, or this is how you instill in them some values and principles, which may be outdated words and of no relevance. So we can only advise them. At the end of the day, you see, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So I think everybody has a fair bit of common sense and intelligence. And if we are just observant, aware, and reflective, I don't see why it should be such a big task. We should not idly be advising people. People should see it for themselves. And if they don't see it, okay, we advise them. If after that they still don't do, what can you do?
Yeah, that's, I look at what I do. I mean, my goal is to be here and give as much as I can to people that are willing to take it and run with it and create a new world and a new life for themselves.
Exactly. That's what you do.
If I could jump in here, I think a part of it has to deal with patience. We're just not patient in the world right now.
Oh,
I don't want to blame Amazon. But getting things the next day kind of
hey, David.
from everybody.
David, I ordered a book yesterday at 5 o'clock and I got it at 8 o'clock. and I live in a suburb.
Yeah, last year it took, I don't even know, I felt like 2 weeks for a whole Amazon shipping center to open up in the middle of nowhere overnight. So they're everywhere now. But the part of being patient and allowing things to come back to you, that ties right in with praying. A lot of people aren't patient to wait to hear the other side of the conversation. So that goes right into exactly what you're saying, helping others. I mean, how else are you going to learn from others unless you're also helping others or collaborating with them, and things do come back to you. Once you help other people, you'll get information, and the more people you help, you'll be getting information from each person, and you'll be able to put it into use in your own world and your own ways. So it's pretty much investing in yourself. We all want to invest to make money or something. We invest in stocks, and we know that time is a commodity also. So I invest a lot of time in myself and have been very patient, and I'm surprised my patience hasn't run out, but I guess there's other forces helping me with that. But I think that is a big thing, is how much patience is out there, and if that's even something younger generations know how to do or what to do when they do need to wait for something.
Welcome, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Hello, my favorite people.
And thank you, David. That was awesome. David, I have to say this, David. Every time you speak, I'm more and more impressed with who you are. So thank you for being here.
I kind of shock myself sometimes. So thank you for that.
Isn't it amazing how sometimes you impress yourselves when you think out loud?
Well, we have our ears, so we're talking to other people, but we're also talking to ourselves. We're hearing those words bounce right off the walls next to us, come right back at us. So I'm definitely talking a lot more these days.
Now, there's a difference between when you talk out loud, and if I don't agree with you, I don't lash out at you. I ask you questions to make sure we're in the same plane, same content. I'm hearing the content correctly. And so I like what you shared. One of the things too with this generation is when you have a discussion with them, they're really not present. They're not taking in what you're saying and are even able to do that. Like I just said, where, I listen to you, then I ask you a couple of questions, and they're not able to do that. They're not, and I call that not being present in communication. And the other thing too, I noticed is, everything has a cause and effect. If you do this is what's going to happen. And many times when I'm trying to explain to the different generations, and I this is going to be the effect. Oh no, that's not going to happen. That's automatic. It's just an automatic. And in that case, I sit and I wait. And then when they come back, then I ask them, all right, so what happened? And they tell me, and I went, what do you think the cause is? And they still can't answer the question, even though I had just given them the answer. So that's an example of how they don't listen. Cause and effect, consequences. We grew up being taught about consequences, and it's kind of the same thinking. So something's kind of amiss in that part of their mindset.
Hi, Sister Catherine is in the house. I just invited her up on stage. She may be sitting in the waiting room just listening to us. Oh, there she is.
Oh, she's a speaker. She's here.
Yeah. Hello, Coach. I'm on my way back from Roanoke. Just listening in, enjoying what I'm hearing.
How's Coach Jay?
Excellent. They said that the procedure went well, very well.
Good. So they've actually done something right.
because of prayers from the saints of God, they had no option.
I totally believe that. I had people praying. I was just praying. It was hard to focus all day. Just praying, and trying to work.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I just want to jump back in on what Jan said as far as people listening to us. Yeah, something I say about just listen, not just listening, but also the perspectives. We don't need to argue about it. You can see in my picture there, my dog is right there on the lap. We're looking at the same thing, but we will always have a slightly different perspective. But I'm not trying to kill her. We could stand next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, and not have to agree on something, but at least listen to it and recognize that there's always going to be a slightly different perspective, because we can never stand in exactly the same place as somebody else at the same exact time. So just respecting others' perspectives and their words. You don't have to agree with them, but respecting them is different.
I more or less look at it as appreciate their perspective. If somebody has a different perspective than I do, I want to be able to have the same understanding they do to appreciate it. That way, if I have we can have conversation and it can be exciting versus adversarial. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, and you know this, Janet, and I think David, I don't know if you know this about me yet, but for me, I love it when I meet somebody that has a different point of view and that's willing to share back and forth, because in the end, I believe that what will happen is we'll both discover that there's your point of view, my point of view, and a place we can come to together that is better than both of our point of views alone. And that's the goal that I'm looking for. Does that communicate?
That definitely does.
That's what you call leveling up. If I have a perspective that, wow, you didn't look at it that way, and now you have a better understanding. You were more knowledgeable today than you were yesterday. Oh. That's a level up. That's where the appreciation comes.
Amen. Amen. 100%. Hallelujah.
And so when you look at the communication that I have to work with a lot, not as much as I'm really glad I don't have to work is the combative. There's combative, there's confrontation, and then there's this collaborative type of communication where you share and you level each other up. It's the combative and the that is an oppositional that is creating a lot of friction in communication today. And those are behavioral things. It's just not about communication. They're also behavioral.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
You have to be a psychologist to communicate with people. I need to find another profession for you to have this conversation. I'll have them contact you.
Yeah, it's a valid point, and I think I think this brings about the topic of discussion for for our next podcast next week, is to look and see how can we impact that change. What can we do without having either the government get defensive or the people in the trenches get defensive? How do we level up so that both sides see it all as a win-win? That's going to be the key. Well, I want to take a couple minutes here as we're wrapping up. You'll notice, because I want to introduce us to 2 new podcasts. Well, one of them's new anyway. One of them's brand new, and it's pinned right up above myself, Sujata, and Sulina. And this is Hangout with Sujata, a podcast on Anchor. And then once we've heard from Sujata a little about this podcast, and she can share with us what to expect, then I'm going to pin another podcast up that is from Paddle Cogswell, and have her share a little bit about hers, since this is the age. Oh, I almost started singing. This is the age of Aquarius. And we've got some podcasters on the stage, and I would like to honor them by having them share a little bit about what their podcasts are, what they're up to, what they're looking, the impact they're looking to have. So with that, Sujata, would you like to explain to us about Hangout with Sujata?
Hangout with Sujata is a podcast that I have created, which is going to be interviewing people, but with a different perspective. So it's going to be with your playlist of music, and you're going to share how that music resonates with what part of your life, and whatever. So whatever you want to share, you share it through the music. And that's what my podcast is all about, to draw out people through the music that they have, and how it resonates with different aspects of their life. That's my podcast.
And what do you how do you see this is different than other podcasts out there? What do you think this is bringing to the table?
Everybody likes music, is what I've discovered, no matter who you are, what you are. So it's very interesting to see what kind of music the people have and they resonate with. And it takes out the intrinsic uh, person. I always like to interview, I've always interviewed people and try to draw them out. And so that is what I aim to do here. It is through your love of music or your share of music, and you dwell about different aspects of your life. So it's not like the other podcasts. It
That reminds me of
definitely is not. It's a new kind.
months ago, maybe longer. I don't know. Yeah,
Go ahead, Jeanette.
it reminds me of a conversation I had with friends a couple of months ago, and we were talking about songs, and they were saying, I remember what I was doing when that song came out, and so that's what it reminds me of when you mentioned that podcast, Sujata. That is fun, and everybody does love music. They do. And especially nowadays, because it allows them to just reminisce, unwind. And when you think about social life, a lot of times they have music playing. And they're always talking about the music. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say about the podcast, Sujata?
What we keep saying all the time, so I'm going to repeat it for the nth time, that please go and see the podcast and subscribe to it and listen to it and promote it. Some of you are going to be featured there. I would love for people, if they want to be featured, to reach out to me. And already Coach Les is there. So if not for me, then go and check out Coach Les.
I'm looking forward to SUJATA. Yes, I will subscribe to it and share it. What a great share. Thank you. Thank you. I will do that.
And I'm looking forward to having you on my podcast, Janet.
I am too, SUJATA. Thank you very much. I'm honored.
All right. And then Catherine, do you guys have a podcast or something built in yet for Camps for Christ?
No, Coach. That was one of the things that Coach was working on, and we have yet to complete it.
Got it. Well, I think there's the lady that is here on stage, Paddling. I will copy all of her back channels to me and send them to you. I think that there's because she has Kingdom Advance Family blog podcasts. I'm going to do my best. Wow. I'm going to do my best right now to put it up in the pinned link. But I think the two of you definitely have to get to know each other and speak offline.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, thank you, Coach.
Paddling, did you hear that? Paddling, are you there? Uh-oh, might have lost her. Well, I'm about to put her podcast up. Are you there, Paddling? I love this. I love this sometimes. It is such a it's so much fun to have all this technology in front of us, and sometimes it doesn't work.
Welcome to the real world.
Kingdom, if you're talking, you're on mute, so you have to look down at the little microphone on the right-hand side and touch it so that the red line disappears, and then we'll be able to hear you speaking. I know she's new to... Kingdom, I can't take you off mute. You have to do it. Sorry. And if it's not working... All right, there's the Kingdom Advance Family blog podcast up at the top. There you are, Paddling.
Yes.
You're there.
Yes.
Did you hear me introduce you to Catherine right below you?
Yes, blog and YouTube and everything, so that way you would have it.
Yep, I've got it. But what I want you to meet the lady that's right below you on stage. Her name is her.
Catherine?
Yep.
Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
How you said? How am I? I couldn't hear you.
Yes. She asked how you were.
I'm doing good. Just preaching up a storm. Right now, I'm just kind of taking a break and studying a little bit. But studying a little bit, and then whenever the Lord gives me something, I'll preach it. And in the meantime, I'll just put my church stuff on there.
So,
Can you hear me?
yep, we can hear you. And Kingdom, I wanted you and Catherine to connect on the back channel and share share phone numbers, because I think you might be able to support each other.
Yeah, we can do that. I can most definitely do that. Where are you from?
Amherst, Virginia, in the United States.
Cool.
How about you?
I'm from and I currently live in Oklahoma City.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Cool. Yep. My grandpa is also my pastor, so and anytime do you have Spotify?
No.
Oh,
We're working on it.
Huh?
Did you say, do we have, I'm sorry, I'm driving, so I could barely hear you.
Oh well, I was gonna say if you had Spotify, you could look at my podcast and stuff, and because I add music to my podcast, so you won't be able to get it to any other platforms. But yeah, we'll talk on the back channel since you're driving if you want.
Excellent. Yep. And I'll make sure you guys get connected. And I did pin the link to the top of the stage, Paddling.
Cool. I see it.
Okay. And if you click on that, it'll take you to your site.
Yep.
Okay. So with that, Sulina, are you there yet?
I am here,
Okay.
live and in color. I was listening all along. I couldn't because I was with a client. So that's it. But I am here. You guys had some really rich conversation. Congratulations to Sujata on the podcast. Thank you, Coach Les, for allowing me to share this space with you all. Thank you for your patience for holding on while I was just in the listening lounge. And congratulations as well, Kingdom, on the blog and podcast as well. And I love the collaboration between Kingdom and Catherine. And Sujata, I got your message in the back channel. Anytime you're ready, honey. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. So thank you. Thank every one of you guys.
I think it'll be awesome. Well, listen, is there anything else you'd like to share, Sujata?
No.
All right. David, is there anything else for you, sir? All right. He must have gotten to his destination. So with that, I am going to declare this room officially complete. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And I'm going to play a fun little diggity doggity to say goodbye. And I appreciate you all. Make sure that you're make sure that everybody's following everybody in the background. and getting connected. And with that, I am going to gently close her down.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
If you have any struggles in your business or your personal life, Les is your guy.
He's logical, he's empathetic, he has passion for helping people, and his ideas are genuinely thoughtful.
So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les Hill.